Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jayma Hawkins, the National Prison Braille Senior Director for the American Printing House for the Blind. We've heard all week about new things being done, innovations, and our mission this year is respect, innovate, and grow. 2023 was a busy year, has been a busy year for Prison Braille as well. We are at 45 programs in 34 states. We've been successful this year in re-implementing a program in Oklahoma. Is Pepper in the audience? She is not. So we're very happy about that. And we have worked with Oregon, who has never had a program. The Department of Corrections wanted the program, and so I helped them write a grant, and it's called a Justice Assistance Grant, and the term is JAG grant. I prepared a 2-year budget for them, and we collaborated for almost a year. They applied, and as of last week, we got word that they were the first award, so Oregon now has their first Prison Braille program. We are currently in talks with Maryland, and we're very hopeful that that will come to fruition, and Paul is a big player in that as well. Paul, you're on their board, right? Okay, there he is. So Conchita, we're working with Conchita and her folks, and we are going to get the Department of Education in a good place and in agreement with this before we approach the Department of Corrections. But through my travels with the NCIA conference, which is National Correctional Industries Association, I was able to meet the correctional director of Maryland. And so I think it's gonna fall into place. We just have to get the agreements. This year, BTAP changed, our Braille Transcriber Apprentice program. With APH going under construction, and post-pandemic, we've realized that it's probably easier and a lot easier on the budget if I go to them. And so before the pandemic, we would budget for 2 people, and they would come to APH if they were released, and we would keep them a minimum of 2 and a maximum of 6 months. As a result, for that same budget, we have been able to help 5 people this year. And so once they are released, I go to them, we purchase their equipment, software, we set up a LLC business so that they can continue creating educational materials. Have you all enjoyed this week? Okay. Were any of you all able to attend the 2 tours of the KCI program? Good, good. I hope you enjoyed it, and they really love having you all out there. Again, we're back to respect, innovate, and grow. I just wanted to give you all a brief update on what's going on in Prison Braille. Okay, before that, I want to say new things are happening. Connecticut has an actual graduation for women once they get 5 or 6 certified. Once they have earned those, the warden actually goes to her church, gets choir gowns for the women to wear. She has an official ceremony. They have a cosmetology program, a certification program at their prison, and the warden had them cut the women's hair, fix everybody's hair, do their makeup. So that's a really big deal to women. They also have a culinary certification program. So the people had their families come in, a luncheon was prepared, NBC News was there, I was invited to speak, and it was really cool. It was a really heartfelt day. Another thing that happened this year that's never happened before is Texas, Gatesville, Texas. Dolores Billman runs that program, and the program has been going since the early 80s. She has 84 women in her program. Now, I don't know what I'd do if I had to walk in with 84 women every day, but that's just me. Everything's bigger in Texas. Dolores's big dream has always been for her girls, her ladies, as she calls them, to get to have their own conference. And after all of these years, the warden agreed. And so several agencies and individuals, myself included, National Braille Association, gathered and went into Dolores's prison Braille program for 2 days and gave them a professional development conference. 11 of the presenters were alumni from her program that knew the women they were presenting to. So, 84 women and 25 or 26 of us. Let's just say there were a lot of tears all week, and they were good tears, but they had lanyards, they had the program, they had pictures, they had every single thing that you would see at a National Braille Association, except for the hospitality room. And we kept that at the hotel. But it's never happened. So we had Dolores come in and speak about that at the forum to give all the other states that idea, to plant that seed, so that maybe someday other places can do that. And I can't tell you how much it meant to the women. And when I say workshops, there was algebra workshop, chemistry workshop, formats workshops, UEB workshops. So they were really high-tech, high-level Braille workshops, all professionally done. And that lets you know that the respect, innovate, and grow, it's in there too. Right now, I would like to introduce you to a very special person, someone who I respect very deeply. Brooke Jones from our Kentucky program. And I'll stop there because I don't want to spoil her story. Please join me in welcoming Brooke.
Thank you, Jayma. I just want to say thank you all for honoring me with this opportunity to share a little bit about my story. And I'm sorry to anybody who was in here on Tuesday that has already heard this. I'll try and change it up a little bit. Jayma has been in my life for maybe 9 years even. I met Jayma because I was in the KCI Braille program. And my story to how I ended up there started about 15 years ago when I was 27, so don't add that up, take some numbers off, or yes, don't do the math. But I had 4 kids, and I had just been struggling with a drug addiction that I didn't really recognize as a drug addiction, and my life was just really just in shambles, and I just was not able to stop using on my own. You know, I just was in this tornado of chaos at home, and just everywhere I went, I was failing, you know. That's the bottom line. That's what I was doing, and I just gave up. You know, I was tired, and I was overwhelmed, and I just didn't see a way out. And so I committed some robberies in this fine city that we're in right now, at my home, Louisville, and I wanted the police to come and shoot me. And thankfully they didn't. But I did end up with 25 years, and that sentence included a requirement to do 85% of my time to parole because I had a gun when I was there. And so I went into prison with 17 years to do, and I just was still pretty hopeless at the time. I mean, I had ruined my life and my kids' lives, and it took me a while to get out of thinking that everything was just going to just never be good for anybody. You know, it took me a long time to start seeing that I would get out. You know, I was going to come home at some point. I had a date to come home, and I had to change how I was living. I couldn't get out and be that person anymore. And I was blessed to have a mother who raised me with morals and stood by me when she probably really didn't want to. But she did, because she loved me, and she was, you know, a good source of support and encouragement. And so I had a foundation of some good things. And once I sobered up in prison, and the fog started to lift, as they say, after a few years, and I started to think about what I could do when I got out. Like, how was my life going to be different? How could I make a difference? And I took some college classes while I was inside, but, you know, Braille opened a door for me to picture myself in a different light. You know, if you didn't go into for the tours, then I'll just kind of give you a little picture that KCI sits up on a hill, and it's kind of separate from the prison, even though it's in the gates. And I would leave every morning from my dorm at like 7:30, and I would go to work. And it was like I wasn't in prison during that time, and I was trusted to help produce material for people who had visual impairments, who had visual problems, and it just made me feel like I was giving back. You know, it took a while before I realized that I was in a professional environment in the prison. We worked as a team. We trained each other. We helped each other. And, you know, Jayma was the leader of that team. You know, she came in every week. She always would tell us her fun stories of her adventures. And she treated us like human beings. And I thought that I would be there for a while. I got my literary certification in 2016. So my out date was January of 2026. And I had settled in to the life there. I'm going to work every day. I went to school at night. I just stayed busy. And I had my mind set on this goal of January 2026. And in 2019, in December of 2019, I was called from my job at Braille and was told that I received a full and unconditional pardon. And I got to call my husband and ask him to come get me, and I got to go home 6 years early. And I went home excited and just feeling blessed and grateful, but I still didn't know what to do. You know, that wasn't what I had planned for, and nobody else had planned for me to come home. And I was scared, you know. I felt like everybody could tell I had been in prison. I felt like it was like tattooed on my forehead. And Jayma was one of the first people I called when I came home, because I knew I could. I knew she would be, if nothing else, encouraging and supportive like she always had been. And Jayma really came to my rescue, you know. I was working at a weird factory where they make like foam pieces. I don't know. I was just gonna do it though, you know, because I wanted to give back. I wanted to work. I wanted to be a part of building my life. So Jayma fought and helped me become a BTAP recipient and got me out of the foam factory. I don't know what we were making there anyway, so. And I got to come to American Printing House and really started to just see that my life could take any trajectory, you know, that there were other doors open for me, and Braille made that possible. Me, you know, just me having the opportunity to be at American Printing House, and I meet people who were blind. You know, I was there making material for people who were blind, but very rarely would we see or feel like we were sending it out to people who were actually using it. And American Printing House helped me see all of those things in motion, you know, and it was just a real honor and blessing to be able to be there. Everybody was wonderful and treated me kindly, and they probably saw the tattoo on my forehead, but they ignored it. And, you know, Jayma treated me and continues to treat me like I'm important, like I'm a friend, like she's got trust in me. And that support is just so important, you know, especially while you're in there, to keep you hopeful, to keep you driven. But the support when you get out can change what your life looks like out here. It's scary to get out of a place like that and feel like nobody understands, nobody knows, and you don't want to tell them why you're weird. So it just, having Jayma there right when I came home, and when I was, you know, just breaking down crying because I was driving to work and couldn't believe I was even given a license, you know. I mean, I just, some things like that I was able to come to American Printing House in the morning and talk to her about, and she knew me and where I was from, and she, you know, just wrapped her arms around me and helped me get on my way. And part of that included giving me, you know, the opportunity to go home and work from home, which I was kind of scared to do. I didn't know if I really trusted myself to do that. But they set me up with all of the equipment and software, and I went home and I applied for college, and I got a little part-time job, and I was able to start going to college full-time within about 9 months of me being home. And I started to go to school to be a drug and alcohol counselor because I felt like that it's important for people to see somebody come out on the other side. You know, when you're in that, you don't feel like there is another side. You don't feel like you could ever make it there. And so I wanted to be that encouraging person for other people who are struggling with addiction. And so that took me to U of L Kent School of Social Work. I had to be online because the pandemic hit within 4 months of me being home, which I was just telling someone that it didn't seem that bad to me. I was like, it could be a lot worse than this, you know. I can sit on the back porch at night, you know. So I was able to keep that in perspective, and I'm thankful for that. But it's been a long few years of that pandemic. But having Braille and being able to do Braille from home and having the skills I had and having the support I have, I'm still in touch with some ladies that are in that program. I still ask them questions when I'm transcribing because those were my team and those were my friends and those were my family for a long time. And I've been able to make an income from home and it's been flexible for me. And this past year was my fourth year of my bachelor's program in the social work, in the School of Social Work. And that was as far as I was going to go. I had made up my mind, like, that's all I need, bachelor's in social work, so I can have the drug and alcohol certification. And towards the end of the year, when I was going to graduate, I changed my mind, and I did walk in May to get my bachelor's in social work. But I had already started classes for my master's, so it didn't totally feel like a graduation, but it did feel like a big accomplishment. And I never thought I would be there, and I never thought that, I would be standing here. And right now I'm a housing case manager at St. John Center, so I work with people who are previously homeless, who have received housing, who need ongoing case management. They need people to check in with them and help make sure they're able to maintain their housing, and to be trusted with that position, to be helping other people with their lives when I couldn't even help myself with my own life back then. It's just amazing where things were and where they are now. And I just, I think what I wanted to say the other day, but I didn't think to say it, was just that how important the support of people like Jayma and people who are running the prison Braille programs and who are investing in those programs. You're actually investing in somebody succeeding when they get home. You're not only investing in them to get materials out to blind children and families, but you're also investing in the people who are there learning how to transcribe, because it does change your life. It can change the trajectory of what happens. And I just want to thank everybody for taking the time to hear my story again, if you got stuck hearing it twice. And I want to thank Jayma, because she's just a wonderful support system and just the right person to run the Braille program. She's the president of the Prison Braille program.
Thank you, Brooke. And if everyone was as easy to work with as you are, my job would be a lot easier. But it was certainly a pleasure. And I think one of the extra bonuses is that Brooke lives in Louisville, so we have become friends, and I keep up with her. She keeps up with me. And to graduate college, go on to a master's program, and to be helping the population of Louisville that we have seen this week. It's a big deal. Craig, earlier in the Hall of Fame luncheon, you thanked everybody and for what we do, and we all have such a different vein in the big puzzle, but each piece that we do makes that puzzle whole. What I'd like to close with today is a thank you letter that was written to the Connecticut women upon their graduation, and it's from a TBI through her personal experience. I think she went above and beyond in this, but I also think it's a thank you for everybody in this room, no matter what you do. It's a thank you for everybody in our field, okay? So, bear with me. A mother writes, "The nurse handed me my first bundle of joy, a cherished 4-week-old 2-pound baby boy. Their dad held his sister, a 2-pound and 2-ouncer. Enormous, we joked. She'll grow up to be a bouncer. Our twin babies had come so early, you see. The first dozen people to hold them weren't me. There were doctors and nurses and dozens of others. They had better training than fathers and mothers. But hold them we did for an hour to start, under a warm blanket, skin to skin, heart to heart. In another 2 weeks, he opened his eyes. They were light blue and clear as June cloudless skies. For 100 days, since my son had been born, he needed an incubator to be kept safe and warm. Little by little, his little body grew stronger. He could hold his temperature for longer and longer. During his crib test, I read him a book. A nurse came over and she had a worried look. "Is he cold?" I asked, preparing to move in a hurry. She shook her head no, but her face showed worry. "Your baby, he's staring up at the light. It's an early sign that something isn't quite right." "Early sign of what?" I asked. "Is it bad?" "The boy and the girl were the first kids I had, and they both looked at lights. Was something wrong?" "They're both fine," I was told. "The vision's coming along." As it turned out, their vision did have a long way to go, but we fed them and loved them, and they continued to grow. We came every day to the hospital, my family and me. My daughter's stay was 158, my son's 163. When they came home, helpers visited us. Nurses, birth to 3, teachers and such. Someone came to the house, a teacher for their vision. Never before had I heard of such a profession. She brought mirrors and light boxes to encourage them to look. She brought us a large print and colorful book. And I noticed this book and some others had Braille as well. "Will they be Braille readers?" I asked. She answered, "Time will tell." So I went back to school myself, took classes, and became a TVI. If Joe and Hannah needed Braille, I wanted to help them, or at least try. I learned it can be hard to learn new things when you're old. Not a language, my teacher said. Braille is a code. As it turned out, Joe and Hannah did not need to learn Braille, but if not for them, I would never have set foot on this new trail. They now read large print books, and while I'm glad for what they see, I'm so deeply thankful for the changes they brought about in me. Something potentially bad led to good, getting to work with babies and mothers. As a school-age TVI, I work with teachers, therapists, and others. As it turns out, because of my kids being born so small and needful, my life has grown to include more learning and more wonderful people. Loss of vision may have been the bridge connecting me to you today, but if loss is what brought you to learn Braille, maybe everything will be okay. Please accept on the behalf of families like mine our thanks for you. Okay, I'll do it. Please accept on behalf of families like mine our thanks for you sharing your talents and time. I'm so proud of you all for putting in the time to read and write Braille. Speaking as a TVI, I love it when freshly brailled books come in the mail. Congratulations on your accomplishments. Enjoy the celebration. Know that you are appreciated, and good luck on this and every certification. Thank you all.